Right now, inside your body, there is DNA that doesn't fully belong to you. It came from a different kind of human, one who hunted woolly mammoths, who buried their dead, who made flutes from bone and painted the walls of caves. They were not our ancestors, but they became part of us anyway. This is the story of the humans who didn't make it, the ones we replaced, or absorbed, the ones who vanished. And the shocking truth about why their genes are still alive, inside you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which part of you came from them, and why that changes everything about what it means to be human. Most people think of human history as one straight line. Apes, cavemen, us. Simple, clean. That's completely wrong. For most of the past 300,000 years, Earth was not home to one kind of human. It was home to several, living at the same time, in overlapping territories. Sometimes just a valley apart. The two most significant, the two whose story is most astonishing, are the Neanderthals and the Denisovans. And until about 40,000 years ago, all of us were here. Together. For over a century, we got Neanderthals completely wrong. Pop culture painted them as dumb, hunched-over brutes. That image was wrong in almost every way. Neanderthals had brains as large as ours. They buried their dead, placing flowers and ochre in the graves of people they loved. They made music. A flute carved from a cave bear bone, over 50,000 years old, found in Slovenia. The oldest known musical instrument on Earth. Made by a Neanderthal. They survived some of the harshest climates in human history for over 200,000 years, compare that to modern human civilization as we know it, roughly 6,000 years. Neanderthals lasted 33 times longer than everything we've ever built. They were not brutes. They were people. Now here's where it gets strange. In 2008, scientists excavating a cave in Siberia found a small bone, a finger bone, from a child. When they extracted DNA from it, it didn't match Homo sapiens, or Neanderthals. It was something else entirely, a new species of human, discovered not from fossils, but from DNA in a single finger bone. We call them the Denisovans. And here's what makes them remarkable. We know almost nothing about what they looked like. Their entire known physical remains fit in a shoebox, but a 2024 study published in Nature found they were living on the Tibetan Plateau, 11,000 feet above sea level, for 160,000 years, through ice ages, through climate shifts that would have killed almost anything else. They were extraordinary survivors, hiding in plain sight. So, they're gone, both of them, wiped from the planet roughly 40,000 years ago, or are they? If you are of non-African descent, between 1.5% and 2% of your DNA is Neanderthal. Right now, in every cell of your body. That might sound small, but across all living non-African humans, scientists have reconstructed that roughly 20% of the entire Neanderthal genome survives in us today. Spread across billions of people, their DNA did not die, it scattered into us. And it's not just passengers. Those Neanderthal genes help regulate your immune system. They shaped the skin and hair of early modern humans who migrated into cold European winters, because Neanderthals had already spent hundreds of thousands of years adapting to that climate. When our ancestors arrived, they didn't just encounter Neanderthals, they downloaded their upgrades. The Denisovans left an even more dramatic legacy. People in Tibet carry Denisovan genes that allow them to breathe efficiently at extreme altitude. Papua New Guineans carry Denisovan DNA linked to stronger immune responses. A 2024 Princeton study found there were at least 3 separate waves of contact, the earliest over 200,000 years ago, and it went both ways. Neanderthals also carried our DNA. We didn't just share a planet with these people, we shared everything. So what actually happened to them? Did we kill the Neanderthals? The honest answer, we don't fully know, but 2 theories have emerged, and neither of them is clean. The first, competition. As Homo sapiens expanded out of Africa, we moved into territories Neanderthals had held for millennia, more numerous, with wider social networks and more sophisticated trade routes. We may have simply outcompeted them for food and resources, not through warfare, through economics. But the theory gaining the most support from modern genetics is this: we absorbed them. Princeton geneticist Joshua Akey put it plainly: I don't like to say extinction, because I think Neanderthals were largely absorbed. As Neanderthal populations shrank, some of the last surviving groups didn't fight modern humans, they joined them, their bloodlines merged into ours. They didn't go extinct, they dissolved into us. We spent decades thinking of Neanderthals as the failed version of us. The rough draft that got thrown out, the path evolution didn't take, but modern science tells a different story. They weren't erased, they were woven in. Every time someone's immune system fights off an infection using an ancient Neanderthal gene, every time a Tibetan climber summits a peak that would leave the rest of us gasping, using lungs shaped by Denisovan DNA, every time you look in the mirror and see someone whose face, skin, and resilience was partly built by people who aren't here anymore, we carry them with us. Everywhere we go, there's something beautiful about that, and something a little haunting, because you have to ask, if Neanderthals mourned their dead, raised their children, made music, survived ice ages, what exactly separates us from them? Maybe nothing, maybe the line was always thinner than we thought, maybe we were never the only humans, we were just the last ones. Most people alive right now have no idea they're carrying the DNA of a species gone for 40,000 years. If that's the kind of history nobody teaches you, this channel is where we go looking for it. Subscribe so you don't miss what we find next.